What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another trade recap. Today is February 6th, and I lost around $600 across two accounts trading Nasdaq today, and I'm going to go over it, talk about my losses, and how we can improve from our losses. All right, so coming into the day, I really just wanted to clearly see a retrace into this momentum here. Why? Pretty much, right, when you have a lot of selling power and then you reverse off of like this level, for example, right, a lot of times we're going to need seeing a proper retrace and then continuation higher. Okay, so if that was the case, I'm going to be looking for a retrace here and then longs. All right, that's not what happened. Markets opened up bullish and just straight up shot up. All right, and what did I really want to see? I wanted to see some sort of a reaction off of a tap into a fair value gap because we had already swept Asia and London highs. All right, and I personally thought that we were overextended, and I thought that was due for a retrace. Okay, so first of all, I was gonna take this setup, but I didn't like how early it was into market open. Tap into the 1 hour, and then we had, I believe, we just had a really strong bullish close. Obviously, because we just had like a change in state of delivery, just because we had obviously market open. Okay, and that's obviously a crazy big candle, but that's pretty much it. I would have taken that, probably targeting this unfilled 4 hour, which would have ended up hitting. But what I did take was actually shorts. Now, the reason I took shorts was because we had this original tap into this 4 hour. Okay, this 4 hour fair value gap right here. All right, what do we see after this tap into this 4 hour? Okay, so we see this tap literally right here. Okay, and then we immediately inverse this gap. Okay, that's a really good sign. But if we're going to be continuing bullish and we're just going to get a 1 minute inverse, that's not really going to prove anything to me, because I remember when I wasn't having the good results that I was wanting and I was losing a bunch of trades, I would be taking setups just off of this 1 minute, and I would be like, why are they failing? Because we're moving bullish. All right, so you need extra confirmation, and the extra confirmation that came with this was actually a 30-second change in state of delivery. All right, because why does this even matter in the first place? All right, if we're going to be moving bearish, we have a price to retrace to. This price was this 15-minute that we formed, so this 15-minute bullish fair value gap right here, right? And I knew that regardless of what price wanted to do, we were either going to tap into this fair value gap and then move up, or we were just going to inverse it and shoot straight down and then target some of these lows here. Okay, none of those happened. Inversed it and then continue higher, which is a little bit odd, but you have to react, not anticipate. All right, but regardless, I knew we were gonna move down. Okay, why did I know? Very clean tap into the 4 hour gap. We had a very clean V-shaped recovery, meaning to the downside, with targeting like a 15-minute unfilled. You really can't ask for a much better setup other than a liquidity sweep or an SFT. But because we had already swept Asia and London highs, it was just looking very profitable. All right, so where did I enter? Okay, so I entered here with this 30-second inverse. Okay, this was the most bottom fair value gap right here. Okay, boom, entered there, and then pretty much had my stop, okay, at the top of, like, at the middle of this 3 minute. So price, the reason I didn't have it here was because I really didn't like the RR. I liked it here, targeting this day low, or not a day low, it was just the market open candle, targeting this break even at the unfilled 15-minute. We tap it and then we literally come back to my break even. All right, setup, not mad with that. But what did I see after this? Okay, so we inverse this 15-minute, which pretty much proved to me that we were going to remain bearish at that time. Obviously, I did not know that price was going to continue up after that. I just thought that, right, if we're going to be inversing bullish power, that's usually going to result in bearish order flow or bearish market structure. Okay, so we literally inversed the 5 minute, the 15-minute here, and then we retraced back into this 15-minute gap. Okay, we retraced back into this 15-minute gap with this candle here. What am I looking to see after this retrace? Okay, so after this retrace into the 15-minute gap, we have a very strong 1 minute close. Okay, and this 1 minute close is literally here. Okay, so with this close, we inversed this gap, and then we just had a perfect setup because we had already formed these lows here. Pretty much, we had already formed these lows to get swept, and then we already had this low that I was still targeting. Ended up pretty much getting stopped like right away. Not mad with any of these setups. What I could have done better though was just honestly, literally not take the second trade, primarily because we were moving up, and especially after this happened to the 1 hour, right? what I didn't I failed to realize that this was going to be the actual retrace. Okay, I wanted to see a bigger retrace and then shorts because I thought that's what was going to play out during New York session. That's not what happened, but nevertheless, still right. Learn from your mistakes, learn from your lost trades, and move on to the next day. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Hopefully next week is a lot better. This week I was in Miami, and then I did take a win on Monday, loss on Tuesday, and I think I took one setup on Asia that lost, and then I took this loss. So, excuse me, not a great way to start it off, but next week is definitely gonna be better. At least that's what I hope for. And yeah, CPI coming soon. Big things coming up for that. So stay tapped in.